I got your chats up. Whoo-wee. By the way, I'm starting this out, so if you're watching this, I'm just starting. I'm gonna go through my my scans. Don't worry, they're coming up. My YouTube app on my iPad is starting now, but hopefully you guys have alerts set up so you know that I'm going live. I'm waiting for the app on my iPad to update. But reminder, Black Friday sale. It's the last day. I have a meeting with TrendSpider tomorrow. They are so impressed with, I guess, what I'm doing, but I don't know. We'll find out what the meeting's about. They said, hey, can we have a meeting? Zephan, you're awake at this time too. Okay, let me open up YouTube. Gonna go current live stream. There we go. Okay. Hit the thumbs up, Zephan. Wow, I got 5 people watching in the afternoon. How the hell are my degenerates still morning? It's afternoon. What did I do? Let me see what I did. I did 8.5 miles. Christian, I'll be here for you guys whenever you guys need me. There are people who have emailed me. Guys, my contact info is in the link tree. So if you ever get nervous, I did put out a short. Yeah, Justin, you're fine. I think you told me you were in Cali. I don't work. Like I said, I did like 8 miles this morning. So yeah, you're crazy. I did that when I did the Major League Soccer. By the way, the big oh, come on. Oh, I hate this Roku. Short Roku immediately. Just short Roku. This Roku stick sucks. My Apple TVs are so much better. I can't get over how much better my Apple TVs are. Now, the Roku stick costs you like $30. And if you've seen my setup in here, I have a TV. It's hanging on the wall. So an Apple TV is a little tough to put up there. Oh my God, I love San Diego. Justin, I freaking love San Diego. I lived in Palos Verdes, up just outside of Los Angeles, just below Redondo Beach. And yeah, Zephan lives in Orange County. Let's go and do some scans. Because 1:30, the new candles start up. Anybody buy Bed Bath & Beyond or no, Bath & Body Works? Here. Let's take a look. Active Trader Pro. Your Uvixi is down at 890. The VIX is getting killed. Uvixi in particular is getting just destroyed. And I don't know why. No idea why. The futures on the VIX just are not coming back to 30. But makes no sense to me. Bed, Bath, and Body Works. I think this is it. No, let's look at it. It was BB, Bed, Bath, and Body Works. BBWI. That's what it is. BBWI. Anybody get in on this one? Anybody? Bueller. We'll look at a 2-day. Guys, here's my best impression. I'm sorry. The hubris in this management team. I was wrong. I was wrong about Bed Bath & Body Works. Obviously, somebody's going there. I don't have a wife, so I'm not big on candles. My towels I buy from Macy's, which, by the way, if you guys invested in Macy's, you did pretty well as well. And Michelle may not be on. Yeah, look at Macy's. What did I tell you? See, we need to go back, and I need to pull that clip of that 5-minute rant I went on. And I said, go on to Macy's.com, order yourself some towels, order yourself a bathrobe, order yourself something from Macy's.com. Understand how good that e-commerce platform actually is. And boom. But did my ass invest in this? Fuck no. Ugh. I'm busy TQQQing myself to death. Okay, you guys just discuss things amongst yourselves. I won't take offense to that. SOXL is way up, by the way. But Macy's, I need to put this in my notes. Okay, I'm going to go over Macy's, BBWI. What else? Zim was one. Let me see how that's doing. That was one we heard from. It's not doing so well. Let's see. Baba and Macy's. We said Nvidia. I don't think. Let me see. Nvidia. It wasn't as bad as people think. It just wasn't as good. I mean, it's been beaten down, and it's just. Okay, here's a well-known television host decided to name one of his pets after a top-performing stock he was on. What happened? CNBC host. Oh, God, I wish I could open this up, but I don't think that it opens up the whole story. Does it? Let's see. I think you guys can see this. No, I don't think that it does. And I hate how slow this is. I need to set up a meeting with Fidelity again. By the way, Sedge is on just a legendary run, I think. Okay, we're going to look this up. I'm going to go back to, let's see, NVIDIA, Jim Cramer, dog. And we'll go, yeah, here it is. Okay. 6 minutes ago. I'm going to take you back over here. No. So he and this is where Kramer's good. I mean, Kramer's not horrible. He gets things really wrong sometimes. And this was back in 2017. So that's NVIDIA. That was Jim Cramer's dog. RIP, because he is gone. And anybody that has gone through a pet's loss, I mean, it's soul crushing. So $1,000 investment and NVIDIA shares price 2017 could have bought 24 shares based on a split adjusted price of $40. $1,000 investment today would be worth almost $4,000. So again, Kramer is right. He's not horrible. What he is horrible at is thinking that he is the end all. I mean, Kramer in the long run, he'll make you money, but he wasn't the only one screaming about NVIDIA. So yeah, don't sign up for this Bazinga stuff and all that mojo. But let's see. SOXL. Here, let's look at SOXL. SOXL is doing okay. Yeah, it's up to 3%. You had a drop in the pre-market. It looks like it kind of was up here near 14. That was from was today Thursday. That was from Wednesday pre-market. Here's Thursday pre-market where it just dropped. It tanked. down to 11. Long term, I think SOXL is still has the momentum behind it. So I'll put that on my notes to look at. Do SOXL. We'll look at TSM. I love Taiwan Semi, by the way. And I had this debate with one of my friends, Taiwan Semi or an NVIDIA. I think it's, I'll put it or NVIDIA, because here's Taiwan Semi in my mind. I think they're still the best chip maker out there. NVIDIA's just got, they got patents, they have AI, they have a lot of stuff. Hey Justin, if I need to help you set up the algorithm or you want it, there's some people who just don't want it. Remember, the algorithm is a back testing strategy, so it back tests for you. It doesn't predict the future. It does underperform. Like if you're just gonna buy a SPY, SPY or a VOO or one of those ETFs, just buy that. The algorithm's not going to trade that for you in a sense that you're going to actually outbeat it. Because remember, it's on a MACD strategy. So there are those button hooks that I talk about. What the algorithm is supposed to give you is, hey, I feel comfortable buying here, or hey, I feel comfortable selling here. So it's not going to tell you 100%. You can set up a bot on TrendSpider. It's fantastic. Like I said, I have a call with those guys tomorrow. And I just gush. God, when I get on the phone with those guys, I gush. Like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. I'll go over Tesla because I do think Tesla is one. I think Tesla is an opportunity, to be honest with you. Okay. Let me type to you then. No problem. At 12 minutes in. I'm typing to you. I got 12 people watching. Hit the thumbs up. If I haven't said it, hit the thumbs up. We'll go back to a Safari view, and I'm going to do some scans. I didn't scan this morning because I left super, super freaking early. But scans. I think my dog is at my feet for some reason. And I hope I get new people watching. I hope I get new people listening since I'm doing it in the afternoon. I'm going to try and get a little better of a format because Fridays, you guys know, J&J. By the way, did anybody invest in Cisco? Remember how I said, hey, it's the slow and steady? It's up 4.5% today. Crazy. It's got a ton of gaps up above it. We'll look at that one. Let's go to brokerage holdings, and we'll look at some scans on those. I do own J&J, full disclosure. Let's look at ones I don't own, but I like to look at. Do S Shift Technologies. I liked this one when I was heavily invested in ARK. It's an ARK stock. If you couldn't tell from the chart, it's an ARK stock. So we'll be looking at that one. PANW earnings. PANW, by the way, if you guys didn't see it, I posted it yesterday. Remember, I think it was yesterday, I set up an alert on SOXL breaking through that 200-day, and I said, hey, if it breaks through and then holds the 200-day, I think we've got a continued run. Instead, it broke through it. I got that alert, Remember the alert that and if you were here watching, I got that alert. This is why I love TrendSpider. I don't have to sit by the computer. I don't have to look through that. I got an alert that said at 13:30 because it was on the 4-hour chart. So at 1:30 in the afternoon, I got an alert. Hey, SOXL broke through. It didn't close above there. So I quickly looked at it. I said, hey, it didn't close above there, so I'm not going to look at it. In the afternoon, we came down. So SOXS was the play. That's the great part about TrendSpider is it can kind of guide you. And like I said, it's not going to – I don't suggest you buy things with TrendSpider and use their bot program. If you want to, have at it. Dan, their CEO, who's on Twitter, you can follow him on Twitter. In fact, here I'll show you. Let's look at Dan. Dan is awesome to follow on Twitter. Ushman, I think is the last name. Yeah. That's Dan. He is the CEO of TrendSpider. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur. His opinions may not be for everybody. Remember, the discount ends on Friday. He doesn't hawk his products like a typical CEO. Zephin. Okay, here's my guide if you should get TrendSpider. Are you trading more than $5,000 a year? If you're trading more than $5,000 a year, $350 makes sense because I think you can make that $350 no problem. That is simply a 8% gain. I think TrendSpider can help you in that sense. If you're trading under $5,000 a year, I don't know that TrendSpider makes sense. I think I'd try and find a different, for $50 Black Friday. You can do month to month, like Justin said. Month to month makes sense if you want to try it. I'll still give you my algo. I just like the yearly because at $50 a month, that's what 6-7 months. So you get the other one free. But Dan's awesome to follow. Even if you don't get TrendSpider, Dan's awesome to follow on Twitter. I like him a lot. I like his humor. I like his thoughts on the world. He speaks Russian, so Ukraine was he was great to look at during the Ukraine stuff. CDNA, that's up 9% today. Wow. B-Fly, I know that one. I'm not a big fan of that one. And I won't bring up any of the ARC holdings. I think they're just, you're teetering on this. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, I think Corey did a masterful job on his analysis of SPY and how I think it's December 19th or something. Go and join the Facebook group so you can see his analysis of it. And that's what I want the Facebook group to be. This shouldn't be all about me because I am wrong a lot. I'm right a lot, but I am wrong a lot too. So you guys need, any information that you can give me to help understand. It's good. Just don't throw me the foreign stuff. Oh, I want to mention too, Australia. I got a shout out from Australia on Instagram. Australia, if you didn't know, Australia is an unbelievable, one of my favorite countries in the world. So PARR, this is Par Pacific. Shell, this one is good. It's up 0.73, but I don't like the chart. That's messy. Look at all those gaps. Ranger Energy. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. AMD, boy, what a fucking winner this is. Let's go to the strategy tester and run it. Look at the winner on this one. Boom. Down here at what? 57? And you're at 74 and you got the button hook. I think you're coming back down here to 63 to cover that gap. See how the 200 days providing resistance? Oh, you know what I want to look at? I got to provide my buddy Avaya. I don't think this is insider knowledge, but November 28th, they released their earnings. And there could be a pretty big move in this one. I have no information. I just know that there's some feelings within the company that good things are coming. And part of this earnings announcement, we know publicly, is they've had some financial problems with Avaya. But it's an interesting one. I think I may look at that one. SMCI. Let's pull this one up. Do super micro computer. Wow. It's a great one. Look at that chart. Look at all these gaps around earnings and stuff. Careful, Justin. That one might be coming down. Okay, I'm going to start this podcast. Michelle, high five. I was asking about you earlier because I saw Target is up. And I said, Michelle's probably happy. I do think that 150 is a base. But Michelle, the goal for you is to decide, is it a trade or is it a hold? Personally, I hold Target. I could have sold it around that $220, $240 range. Let's look at it. I'm going to bring it up. It is up at 160. We clearly saw that 150 was a pretty good level, but it has not made its way back to the 177. But I think you've got some pretty good candles here. It's covered this gap that was created. Remember yesterday we said, hey, it's just pulling back to this gap here at 150. And it started to move up. Look at the volume trend. Yeah, I would consider it a hold as well. I'm actually thinking of adding, like I said yesterday, thinking of adding more. I'm slightly concerned about it in hearing some of the criticism of the CEO and other teams. And I say slightly concerned because some of the commentary on their inventory and their discounting practices, I was slightly concerned about when I read it yesterday. And the biggest thing I was really concerned about, if you haven't been to a Target, Michelle, I would challenge you this weekend to go to a Target if you haven't been there recently or if you haven't shopped there recently. Go to a different one than you normally go to. And that's typically what I'll do with Target and Walmart, and I'll just kind of find things. But the Targets that I go to, they are super light on self-checkout registers, so there's always a line. And then I put two and two together yesterday when he announced that they had lost $400 million due to what's called shrinkage, which is people stealing stuff. I kind of said, I think they're on purpose removing the ability to self-check out to larger numbers of people, causing you to wait. And for that reason, it is because they've lost so much from that shrinkage. That's just my guess. I don't know that I'm right on that one, but if you're losing $400 million in a year to people stealing stuff, yeah, you got to do something about that. So let's go back to September 2003, and we are going to look at the week of the year. So here's what's interesting, Michelle, specifically on Target. Next week, we're currently in week 47 of 48. Look at next week. It's the second best week. I mean, there's a bunch of 74s, but this 79 back here. It's the second best week in 19 years. So do we see it back to that 173? Yeah. I've heard your inner city targets are even crazier than your suburban targets like I'm at. Not in downtown Atlanta. I'm in the suburbs. Suburbs, hey, what's up? But look at Target. Now, if we let's go to month. And let's see how December performs. December as a whole doesn't perform super well. So, and look at January. January is even worse. So, Michelle, here's my guide to you since you're my pet project from yesterday saying, ooh, what should I buy? And then we led you right on the right direction. For Target, let's shrink this down. I would say if you get back to the 172 level within this run, like today's candle, look at today's candles. You got 4.53% during the period, and you haven't even closed this one. The high was 160.66, so you're trading close to the high of this candle. I think if you get to that 170, if for some reason it goes back to 170 tomorrow, think about taking the profit. Because that move right there, it's too big. It'll come back down to this 160 mark. I think that 160 mark, if the afternoon candle closes above the 200 day on this, I'll take a look at it tomorrow. Target. And the only reason I say that is, I probably should be looking at this as well. I don't want to penny pinch this one to death because I do think Target is going back to 200 at some point. And you don't want to miss it. But when you have that big of a gain in such a short period of time in a bellwether, so here's what's interesting. In the algorithm, this green line, it's got to be under that yellow line for it to actually get you out. And the MACD's crossed down already. That green line's going to cross. And that 173 purchase, it's going to get you out with a loss here. But because you're shooting up from here, that RSI is kind of moving up. So this MACD is going to start moving up. It'll be interesting. By the way, I have full base layers on. Full disclosure, it was 34 degrees, I think, when I got out there this morning. It was crazy cold. Okay, let me move my Active Trader Pro to a place where I can get at it. Anybody see Boyle? Look at this, and I'll move it back. SOXL is on a run, by the way. If you haven't seen the market's turned really positive. Oh, you know what I want to look at? I want to look at Sedge. Sedge. Look at Boyle. Boyle's at 42. Remember my pivot's 40? So, 16 people watching. I'm going to start the... let's go back here. I want to look at Sedge. Because that was one. Ooh. Wait till I pull up Sedge. Ugh, I could kill myself because, well, I won't say that, but look at this. I mean, I said it was going back to 300. Guess where it's at? It's at 300. This is 320. It's probably going up there. Oof, I missed it. And look, the RSI is just way too high. That MACD is going to cross down. But this was such a great opportunity. I mean, it's in the solar space, so everything solar was was good. What the hell is FXI? Oh, everything China's up. Dude, Baba? There's a large cap ETF. I'll go over it, but Baba, it was oh, look, ascending triangles. This is what's so cool. Ascending triangles automatically come now with TrendSpider. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. But see, it auto puts in ascending and descending triangles. Love it. I love it. Love it. But Baba's up. I think most of that stuff up. Etsy's way down. Are a lot of the, let's see, Palantir's way down. Snowflake is at 150. Snowflake's just buy and hold though. Target's up 3% at 160. Hold on. Let's see. Let's do a portfolio check. Because I think Apple's up. I think Apple's driving my portfolio up. Yeah. So I am up 0.67%. Whereas the Dow is 0.08. The NASDAQ is absolutely flat. And the S&P is 0.23. I am up 0.67. Where's the alert button? I need my little like siren. So that I can tell you guys, I'm up. I'm up. Okay, hold on. I think I've got to do another podcast with Rick too. And I am trialing something, by the way, with a listener. One-on-one coaching sessions. I'm trialing it. Guys, I don't know what else I can teach you that I don't go over on the podcast, but somebody wants to try a coaching session, so I'll try it out. So after this, if that someone is listening on YouTube Live, I'll hit you up after this. Boy, Sedge, 10-day volume is 1.6 million, 90 days 1.1 million. I tell you what I think. I think Amazon with all its layoffs, I think it's going to cover this gap down here between 87 and 91. I mean, that's clearly where it's going. And then you're off to the races to fill these gaps up here. I think if you touch this gap at 91, I think I might even buy at 95, 93. I mean, God, it's coming down so slowly. But that's one, again, for me personally, I don't mind holding. I wonder, yeah. You know what's killing? Maybe I should do this. Hold on. Where's the, by the way, I felt a little heartened. My heart warmed. I'm not a Nancy Pelosi fan, but the fact that some Republicans stood up and clapped shows me maybe there is some decorum in Washington after all. If you haven't heard, she's not going to run for House leadership for the minority. So, okay. Let's record. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, November 17th. And I'm going to start it off with, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Anybody who listens knows exactly what that is for. It is a stock I was completely wrong about. And it's Bed, Bath, and Body Works. I don't have a wife, so I don't have like 9 million candles sitting in my house around a tub. I do have a tub, but I just don't have candles. And that's what I assume you buy at Bed, Bath, and Body Works. So I buy my towels at Macy's, which we'll go over in a little bit. But Bed Bath & Body Works is up about 25% today. Crazy good earnings. Crazy good guidance. They are trading at $38. There's no reason this should be at $38. Let me see what the BBWI is the symbol. Let's go over to FinViz. PE 7. It's not crazy. It's down 55%. But who shops at Bed Bath & Body Works? Lotions. I don't need my lotions. I don't know. Maybe I'm just cheap. But Bed Bath & Body Works to me, I don't know. But holy hell, I was wrong. Crazy wrong. I did tell you Cisco would be you can buy it, maybe make a little bit of money. I think it was up 4% in the after hours. It's up again. It's not horrible. It's not this is a bellwether stock. You had a buy-in here on August 14th at $40, and you're at $46 right now. So you've made your 10%. You covered most of these gaps. There's another gap up here at 48. If you want a 5% gain, I think you could buy Cisco. I think at some point it hits 48. You could buy and hold it. There's a downside volume shelf at about 45, so you don't have much downside. I think it's going to capitulate here at 45. But, like I said, boring. It's not crazy, doesn't move. The algorithm, 28 positions over 1,000 candles, loses you 13%. Buying and holding makes you 12% because it was a beaten down stock. It's just, again, it's not exciting. They're not coming up with anything new. Your average win is 6.29%. You win 32% of the time. I'd rather buy and hold it. If you want boring, buy and hold. But they were way up. Muddy Waters, if you guys don't know, they're a famous short seller. And they started a position yesterday short of D-Local Limited. I listened to part of the interview. DLO is the symbol. And it was with the head of Muddy Waters yesterday. Their PE is 33. Muddy Waters short position. There's a market watch directly on it. They operate payments platform in the United States, Europe, China, and internationally. Essentially what Muddy Waters was saying is they're just lying about their earnings. That's essentially what it is. The company, I don't think that they came back. They might have some comments. Crazy downside. I haven't seen it pick back up, but you guys know I always say any reaction in the market is an overreaction. I'll keep this on the watch list. I don't know too much about it, but again, it is just beaten down. Year to date, it's down 70%. Their 52-week high is 39. Right now, they're trading at $11. So it could come back. Muddy Waters is famous for, hey, we're going to put this research out. We're going to wait for the company to respond. And when the company responds, sometimes these stocks do come back. So I thought I'd bring it up just kind of for that. Joe hit me up on Instagram, and he wanted me to look at Lovesac. Love. Lovesac. It's not the B-52 song. But he's great research, and I love when I get this stuff. Lovesac, dollar cost averaged it down to $22.71, so he is way in the positive. Doesn't have a huge position, liking the projected numbers and how the company is ran, and a great product, although way too expensive for my taste. It is. If you haven't gone to Lovesac and looked at the prices, if you had the money to buy a Lovesac, there's no reason you shouldn't buy TrendSpider. Let's just put it that way. It's up there in the restoration hardware style price. But reading the chart, he says, if I'm reading the charts right, it looks like the MACD had a cross up on 11.9. The RSI is high. We're approaching the 200-day. Analysts have this thing projected into the 70s. How long should I ride the gravy boat? As it increases, should I take profits from the lowest tax lots in incremental steps of, say, 20%? Let me know. So tax stuff, I'm not a tax professional. Take some profits. I mean, listen, I'm as bad as you can be at trying to take profits. I'm a greedy pig. That's why I'm still in BABA. So figure it out. I think you should identify that before you get into the trade, before you dollar cost average your way down. But I think this was a fantastic trade, Joe. I think it's brilliant. You just reached legendary status. I mean, am I the kingmaker that kind of anoints legendary status now? Because you get one. It does have a gap down here. You were right that we saw on October 19th, I think, another MACD cross up. I don't think it ever crossed down because on the algorithm, I'm seeing September 28th, a $22.14 buy, which is great because you dollar cost average your way down to about that at 22.71. I'm seeing a gap here between 21 and 20, which was filled on the way down here around where you're saying October 19th. On the way up, there is a gap that's not filled between 24 and 23. I'm seeing the button hook, and I'm seeing the MACD cross down. Now, in the algorithm, the MACD will need to cross down, but some moving averages will also need to move. And you're not there yet. But I would hate for you to hold on until 23 when this one comes down and then all of a sudden the moving averages move down and the algorithm says, hey, get the hell out. So identify what your target is on this. I do think right now, because we didn't see a close above the 200-day, I think that 200-day at 28 right now is going to provide you some resistance. I don't think it's providing you support. I think you've got this gap here, and the support is more between 23 and 24.82, say 25. You're at 25.95 right now, but you do have a catalyst of earnings coming up on December 6th. If the analyst, let's look at Love. I want to break out into song Love Sack, but it's Love Shack. I know that. The PE's 9. September reiterated outperform, and they've got it they raised their price target from 30 to 40. June, BTIG research said, hey, we got a $30 price target on it. I don't think they're way out of realism there. Earnings per share this year expected to go up by 197%. Next year, it's only expected to go up by 62%. This year, you're down at 60. Down 60%. So I with 62% increase in earnings next year, I think you could easily see this go to 35. So, again, does supply chain hit? Does the slowing in economy hit? They're a kind of luxury product. But I love the question. Love that you guys are looking out there at other stocks. Love is love. LOVE is the symbol. And Lovesack. And if you hadn't sat on one, go into like a mall. I think they're at a lot of the upscale malls. They have stores. It's amazing. And probably worth the money if you haven't. But again, if you're questioning whether to buy TrendSpider, you don't have the money to buy a Lovesack. So Cisco earnings we went over. Bed Bath & Body Works we went over. By the way, shout out to me. Yesterday was my 200th episode of the podcast. So 200 episodes in. And crazy how much it's grown in 200 episodes. And I cringe when I go back and listen to that first episode. I think I've gotten a little bit better. But one that is up today is Baba. It's up 8.12%. We had a cross up here at $68, and that's the most recent cross up. You're at $84. You've got all the confirmation in the world. The problem is you're coming close to this 200-day at about 87. My guess is if China continues to open up, they didn't announce crazy good earnings, but the market's giving them credit just because they've been beaten down so much. The RSI is way up there at 76. I probably wouldn't get into this one right now. My guess is that you do have a pretty good volume shelf here at about 80. If we do pull back and break that 80, you're probably going down to 73. I think you're going to capitulate there because there are some gaps below here. Do you go back to 65? Really depends on the market. At some point next year, you're going back down to 65. So I do think that this 200-day, you can see it here. Back in August, it crossed up, but it couldn't hold it. Back in June, it crossed up, and it spent some time up there, couldn't hold it. So I think that's what you're going to see now. There is some volume shelf here at about 88, just above the 200-day. If we break the 200-day, I would expect it to do what it did in June. We're still in make no mistake, we're still in a downward trending market. Oil, I think it's up. Let me see. Yeah, it's at 43. Remember, we did have a MACD cross up this morning at 42.23. So anything below 40, you buy it. Anything above 40, set your price target and sell it. I think that's where we're capitulating right here. You can clearly see from the end of October until now, you're probably going to go out to the end of November trading in this range. There's a gap here at 44.78 is where the gap is above. I think you've got some support here with the Bollinger Bands up until about 47. So put your price targets on. Today is a good day to, try and see if you want some natural gas. LNG, we talked about LNG since we're talking about natural gas. This one, I kind of said, hey, I thought it was going to come back down to 150. We had a cross up at 166. It's going to use this 200-day right at about 158. If you buy it here and the market goes down, that 158 is pretty much support. But you can see in the last downturn on September, we didn't even come close to the 200-day. So I think you're kind of putting that in right now. I think you could sit in here. You don't have a catalyst. There's no real reason to rush into this one. So if you want to put in some long-term money, this one is expensive. But remember what they're doing. LNG is basically taking cheap U.S. natural gas, liquefying it at the ports in Louisiana, and then sending it over to Europe. And remember, December 5th is the oil sanctions in Europe for Russian oil. They are, the problem with Europe, and if you go to YouTube, and if you want some of the natural gas stuff, just let me know. I'll send you some of the Bloomberg videos that I've watched on YouTube and stuff. But there's a ton of ships sitting out there in the sea waiting to be unloaded. And it's because Europe doesn't have the ability to unload all of the natural gas that Cheniere and others are sending. So I do think that there's an opportunity there. Is it my favorite play? Probably not. One that was one of my favorite plays is Cleveland Cliffs. And we had a pretty good run on this one. 1365, you're at 1495. You went to the 200-day, which was 1597, just about 16. On the high, you hit 1560, and that was on November 15th. And you've come down to 1495. There is a gap here at 1406 to 1432. I think this is within that range of 1430 to about 16. Now, mind you, that's 10%. That's a 10% range. Are you going back down to the 12? I don't think so. Again, with the Fed probably doing a 50-point rate increase, I tend to agree with Corey from the Facebook group that I think the Fed is going to shock the market with their rate increase in December, and I think they're going to push it. And so with that, I think the commodities probably would start to come down as well, and that's what Cleveland Cliffs is. Let's look at PANW. This is Palo Alto Networks, personal holding. I think I'm making money on it. I don't know. I mean, it was a part of a big split. Their earnings are after the bell today. This one is super underperforming the market for the last month. Remember the last month, the NASDAQ is up like 10%. This one dipped down to the 140s and traded below that Bollinger Band. It had, for a cybersecurity firm that basically protects you against Russia, against Korea, against China, companies need this. But you can clearly see that 200-day is its resistance level up at 169. I personally am holding through earnings. There's a gap up here between 185 and 187. It's not crazy to think with some type of forward guidance that, hey, everybody needs security, and we see people that need security, that we could go back up there. You have to break this 200-day at 168, though. So I don't know that I'd necessarily lead you in here for a short-term trade, but the RSI is in no man's land. It's at 45. I mean, this is as good as a coin toss. Now, the competitor, the main competitor, is CrowdStrike. But they have a huge PE. I would rather own Palo Alto than CrowdStrike. The other one that my dad owns and I don't own, but it's a big one, is Fortinet. And let's see. We'll type FTNT is the symbol. And their PE is 60. They don't have a dividend. They're down 23% year to date. Let's look at PANW. Palo Alto Networks. They're not making money. If they announce that they're making money, they're probably going to shoot up. Their year to date, they're only down 14%. So Fortinet is down significantly more. The forward PE on Palo Alto is 41. On FinViz, you can see it's got a double bottom here around 145. Bounced both times off of that. That's going to be your support level on the downside. So if you buy here at 156, just know 145 is probably where you're going down to. If you go down, it's going to provide that support. Now, if they announce something like they lost a ton of money, if they lost a ton of something, you're going to see it go down even further. But between those two, I mean, here's, look at CrowdStrike, by the way. CrowdStrike's PE is... Oh, I guess I got to click on it. They're not earning money, but their forward PE is 76. So Fortinet is earning money, by the way. So FNTN. FT, what is it? Ugh, why can't I remember this? FTNT. It's like TNT, the network. Their PE is 60, but they're earning money. So really a matter of which one do you want to buy. My opinion is Palo Alto Networks is beaten up. I think today you're going to see their earnings come in. I think they'll be fine. Oh, let's look at Palo Alto's PANW. Let's look at some of the analysts. November 10th, Loop Capital upgraded, $200 price target, trading at 150. November 2nd, Macquarie, neutral, 185 price target. October, Cantor Fitzgerald, 220. So your price targets are significantly higher on this one. You're at 156. I think it'd probably be worth your bet on that one. One that did well, and I don't know if I went over it, but Macy's. Did I go over this? I can't even remember. But Macy's, I think I went over it on the YouTube live that I'm doing right now. But God, guys, I told you, hey, just go to Macy's.com, buy a bathrobe, buy a bath mat, buy some towels, do whatever. Look at how great Macy's is, blah, blah, blah. Well, they had their earnings, and they did really, really well. Not like, oh, my God, we're going to kill it. But if you bought at 21, you're at 22.67. So you're about 5% up. And you're outside those Bollinger Bands. The RSI is kind of high, but you're still rising. Your next catalyst after earnings is your ex-dividend date on December 14th. So let's see what they're... I don't think they do a killer, but is it 2%? 3.2%. You're down 24% year to date. So I do think that Macy's is probably the creme de la creme of retail. You have Gap reporting after the bell today. I would rather see you in PANW than Gap because my opinion is Gap is going to talk too much about Kanye. And according to Spotify, all you little degenerates listen to Kanye. I think Drake is your number one and then Kanye is your number two. So full disclosure, I have never listened to a Kanye song. I know I've heard them because they are popular. So I know I probably have heard them. I think the one, good morning, bum, 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 good morning. I think that one I've heard of, but I couldn't tell you what the song is. So I think the guy is a musical genius. I think he's just got, some issues. SOXL, this is one that it's the 3 times bull share of the semiconductors. Talked about it, I think on YouTube, but live, where I said, hey, I'm going to set up this alert, where if it breaks through the 200-day, I'm going to want to I'm sorry, I'm turning off my heat because I'm burning up in here. But if I set an alert above the 200-day, and if it broke through the 200-day and closed above the 200-day, I was going to say, hey, SOXL is going to take off. Well, the alert hit that it broke through. Then I looked at the candle, and it wound up just breaking down. So it used the 200-day as its resistance line. It's on its way down now, but it still does have some confirmation. The candle in the afternoon, since we're in the afternoon right now, it is trading at the high of this candle is $12.50. The low is $12.32. I think you're at $12.34 right now. But that's only a 0.96. This one doesn't have a lot of volume in the afternoon. You can kind of see that it trades in the morning much higher than it does in the afternoon. But it doesn't have a ton of confirmation. But if you're swing trading this one, SOXL still has the momentum as the positive one. SOXS, I believe there was a cross up on SOXS because it was trading. It hasn't crossed up yet, but it's about to. So take your pick, choose your fighter as in Mortal Kombat, and take a look. I don't know if it's going to be SOXS or SOXL. If I had to put my money on it, I'd probably play as SOXS here at 35.45. And I'd probably look for it to fill this gap between 46 and 53. I don't think that it's going to fill the whole gap because I do think that 200-day, which is right at about 52, I think that's going to provide it some resistance. But you've got clear volume shelf here, support. Let me pull this volume back here to about July 1st. And yeah, 37 you've got. I mean, you're going to be dragged up from a magnet from 35 to 37. But you do what you want with that one. Let's look. There was a question to me. Do I like Taiwan Semiconductor or NVIDIA? And so let's take a look at these two charts. Taiwan Semi. This is a new Buffett favorite. Don't fight the Fed. Don't fight Buffett. Buffett was probably buying down here at 62. You're at 81 right now. The RSI is at 80. Unheard of. But everybody piles into when Buffett starts buying and he releases that I forget what the form is called, but it comes out November 15th. And you can clearly see, look at the volume on that one. Just the volume of buys. Crazy volume day on that one. And yet the period was only 1%. You do have a gap here between 73 and 78. So I would not buy this one now. Long term, I think you're using that 200-day, which is at 77, as a support level now. But you're in this buy. There was a buy on October 26th at $60. So you've made what, 30%? Up in the 80s right now. Your next catalyst is your dividend X date of December 15th. I don't think they do a ton of dividend, but they are making money and they do have a dividend, 2.3%. They're down year to date 33%. So I do think that when Buffett buys into it, you can kind of look at it and say they're going to get through the backlog. If they do have any backlog of chips, they're going to start printing money. The other thing is, remember, he is I think he's the number one Apple shareholder. And Apple announced that they will be buying chips from the Arizona Taiwan Semiconductor plant that they start building. So let's take a look at NVIDIA, because NVIDIA just came out with earnings. It wasn't crazy good earnings. It was just okay earnings. But you've had this stock move from 123, which was the buy-in on October 18th, all the way up to almost 170. I think 168 is where you hit. You do have a gap down here at 144 to 139. I would probably not get into this one either because it is just looking like it's probably going to go fill that gap. If you wanted to play a short on NVIDIA, there is an NVIDIA Bear Daily ETF, NVDS. You had a cross up here at 39.55. Again, NVDS. This hasn't been traded long enough to have a 200-day. It has the 9, it has the 50. The 50 is on the way down, but you did have this cross up. Because NVIDIA has gone for a run, that buy-in at 39.55 might be a good one. Again, the symbol is NVDS. I'm putting it in my notes, and I will add it to my watch list. Another one that I think you should be looking at and just have on your radar is Tesla. Tesla is beaten down 1% today. You had this buy-in here at 195. I kind of said I didn't necessarily believe it, but I don't think you're hurt if you bought it at that 195. I think you could probably sell at a loss here. My feeling is there's two things. A, I think Elon will at some point need to sell more to fund his Twitter. I think he's kind of all in on the Twitter thing, and he has said, hey, we're going to, go all in on Twitter. He is looking for somebody to run Twitter so he can get back to Tesla. So I do think that there's an end in sight. The second thing I think you see in Tesla, and I won't even show you again because I've showed you way too many times, there's a gap between 138 and 144. And it's from way back when. I don't know that it necessarily gets filled, but I do think that that's an opportunity. I told my friend today, if you see a 140 handle, back up the Brink trucks. So if it goes to 149, back up the Brinks truck. Just start loading into this one because I do think that at some point you're getting back up to this gap at 250. So at 140, I think you could say, hey, we're covering that gap and we're just going to move higher. At 150, I think you're good at going in. Would I load up my entire, portfolio at 150? Probably not. 160, probably still a good buy. If I told you we were going to 220 and you had an opportunity to buy at 160, you'd buy at 160, not knowing that maybe we hit 140 before that. So, again, identify your time horizons. I have friends who are still 100% invested in Tesla. 100% invested in Tesla. I don't recommend it. I don't think that they are sane. I think they're actually crazy. But it's your risk tolerance. And how can I argue? The friends that I know who are completely retired and have significantly more money than me, 100% invested in Tesla. So it is what it is. I think that, but you should have this one on your radar. Scans. There were two scans that came up. J&J is one. J&J had a cross up, and this is another super boring stock, a cross up at 174. This is not one you trade. This is one you just hold. It's got a dividend. It won't make you rich. Hold a J&J. Maybe buy the XLV, the healthcare instead. It's about the same thing. You're never going to get rich on J&J. And you're never going to trade yourself to wealth on J&J because it's just not volatile enough. But it's crossed that 200-day at 169. You're trading at about 174. I think 169 is probably your bottom. That's the support level that you're probably going to. But I own it. I own a small position of it. It's been okay. Again, it's not going to make you rich. It's not the best performing stock, but you're not going to get poor off it either. That's the key. Cisco, they had a cross up. It was a secondary cross up. Their earnings were good, so they've got all the confirmation in the world. They're trading on the upside of that Bollinger Band right now. That Bollinger Band is going to open up. So I do think that you're going up here to this 48.50 level to kind of close that gap. You've already closed this gap between $46 and $46.20. So you've already closed that gap. I think you're going back up to this 48. It's a boring one. Hey, by the way, shout out to the Australian folks. I got an email on Instagram from a guy from Australia who said, hey, mate, I'm not even going to try and do the accent. No, I sound douchey as hell. But he said, hey, I listened to you guys and blah, blah, blah. And I wrote back to him. And anybody that is listening outside the United States who trades in the United States market, you have my respect, 100% my respect, because any of the degenerates that are trading on YouTube Live here in the United States, you have an additional handicap because not only do you have a currency exchange, but you also have hours and you also probably have some brokerage handcuffs. So Australia, shout out. And I told him too, Australia is one of my favorite countries. If you ever have the chance to go to Brisbane, it was I was there in 2017, one of my favorite cities in the world. I've been all over the world to many, many cities. Brisbane, I was walking around at midnight, didn't feel unsafe. Probably in places I probably shouldn't have been. It's safest. God, I love how safe the country was. B, I love the people. Outside the cities, the people were even better than inside the cities. But inside the cities, the people were some of the best people in the world. And the other thing I loved about Australia was their focus on health in food. And when you walked into a gas station, and this was the most amazing thing, again, when you go to different countries, you've got to understand that it's just a different lifestyle and you've got to respect that and you've got to just look at it. But when I walked into gas stations, they had salads and fruits up front. They had like watermelon chunks. When have you walked into a Wawa market and seen cantaloupe and watermelon and bananas on sale up front? You don't. They hit you with the soda. They hit you with the chips. They hit you with the muffins. They hit you with the baked goods. They hit you with the hamburgers. It's just a different thing. But I loved it. Target. I think I went over Target. Did I go over Target on the? I don't know. I'll go over it again. But Target. I think you're going to fill this gap. Honestly, I think you're going to fill this gap up at 178. I think you're going to that. This gap that came up with the earnings dipping down to 150, you're trading at 160. I'm holding. I don't think there's any reason to get out of this one. The algorithm has you in at 173. It hasn't gotten you out. Probably will get you out on this afternoon candle with a loss from 173 down to 159, but I think quickly it's going to get you back in, so I wouldn't sell it. I was telling Michelle, who bought some on YouTube Live, that just buy and hold. It scares me because the what was it, $44 million in shrinkage, and shrinkage means people stole crap. You could have lost it, but it's pretty much people stole crap. If you're one of those people who steal stuff, F you. They had some problems. In listening to some of the comments from some of the analysts yesterday, they were not as bullish on the management team as I am, and it's because they still have inventory problems. But I am seeing a ton of Target commercials. So I think they'll do good over the holidays. So I like Target. Again, I think Walmart or Target. Walmart's it's got that multiple, but everybody's going there for groceries. I went there for groceries today. So, if you're shopping at Walmart for groceries, buy the stock. I own both Target and Walmart. I just happen to own more Target, and I've been more wrong about Target this year than I have been about Walmart. Walmart, that dip to 130 should have been a 100% a clue. Buy it because people are going there to buy groceries. A podcast favorite that I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy and didn't trade again is Sedge, SEDG. This is Solar Edge Technologies. You had a buy on October 14th at $203. That was before earnings. Even on earnings day, a buy at $247 because this got you, the 203 got you out with a 2% gain. You probably could have gotten out with 10% gain, but it got you out. But most likely, if you bought at that 203, I know I brought this one up because I've traded Sedge on many a time. But that 203 buy, you're at $300 now. So you go from 200 to 300. You're at a 30% gain at this point, and you've still got confirmation. It's still above that 9-day. It's still on the upper end of that Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Bands are just opening up wide. That 50-day is positive. That 200-day is moving rather flat. I wouldn't even worry about this gap down here between 261 and 255. Don't even worry about it. It's below the 200-day. I think you're going to use this 200-day at 273 as the support level. But it is expensive. Let's go over to FinViz because it is expensive. The PE is 142. But if you would have just loaded your entire portfolio into Sedge at the beginning of the year, when it was still this expensive, you're up 3% year to date. Whereas let's look at SPY. SPY, what is it? 17% down? 16.74%. You're down on the S&P. So Sedge this is why it's a podcast favorite, because not only can you trade it, but if you just buy and hold it, usually you're making money. I think anything in the 200s, you can buy it. Anything over 300, you just sell it. So that's my take on stuff. I will be back tomorrow morning. I will be on. I have a meeting with TrendSpider tomorrow. It is the final day of TrendSpider sale. So remember, if you want TrendSpider, use the link in the description. It is $65 paid yearly, $29.25 a month, and that's $351. You do need the elite level. You can't get the premium level, and that's because my algorithm uses back testing. You could get the premium level, not a problem. You could use this to go monthly instead of yearly. Monthly is $51.35 per month. It's a great price because normally it's $79. It's 35% off. So get the monthly. I think that TrendSpider is the best tool that I have to trade. It gives me the confidence that I know what's going on. Between that and Active Trader Pro, one thing that came up on YouTube Live is there's quite a few people, I guess, who use Webull, and it's for their mobile app. And so I'm going to try and join the Webull affiliate program. And the reason is, and I think D-Man was the one who was like, holy shit, look at how much Webull pays you. It's like a 10, 20%, up on the initial order. And then I get paid on every trade that you do. So I'll try and do that. But I won't guide you into that without first trying it. So I'll be joining it. But if you're looking for a brokerage firm right now, the one that I do recommend, and I don't get any money for, is Fidelity, because Active Trader Pro. And you guys see I switch on YouTube Live over to Active Trader Pro a lot. I take a look at it a lot. I have the setup. I'd be happy to help you set that one up if you want. If you're on Fidelity, I help set people up on TrendSpider. So between those two tools, if you can't trade your way into a gain, and I'm not saying you're going to beat the S&P. I'm not saying you're going to beat the NASDAQ. I'm not saying that you're going to beat the Dow Jones. I'm just saying you should be able to trade to a gain, because you should be able to win when you use these tools, when you use the moving averages, when you use the MACD, when you use the RSI, when you use the Bollinger Bands, when you use trend, when you use the VWAP. Any of this stuff should be able to get you the tools that you need to actually trade effectively. But with that said, nothing beats buy and hold. Find yourself a good company to put your money into and just forget about it. Mine is Apple. Yours could be Google. Yours could be Amazon. Yours could be Palo Alto Networks, which isn't making money, but you believe in cybersecurity because you work in cybersecurity. Yours could be Walmart because you work at Walmart and you see all the Tesla drivers like me pulling up and getting into, buying their groceries. Could be that. Could be Target. You could love Target enough. Just find yourself a stock or a group of stocks that you love, that you use, and put your money in there. And remember the 40-40-20 rule. 40% of your portfolio should absolutely not be touched. And if you want to put it in VOO, or if you want to put it in the sectors, the XLV, the XLK, if you want to do that, perfectly fine, perfectly happy. Absolutely go about and do that. Just make sure you don't pin your portfolio on a company that will lose it all. FTX is a perfect example. I know there are a lot of people who probably had all of their coins in FTX, all of that stuff. Well, unfortunately, it's not regulated. That's not the way to actually make money. But buying and holding makes you money. So just make sure you have a good stock. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great day. I will talk to you in the morning. Take care. Okay. Export song to disk. Stuck in Sydney still, Jesse? And Barb. Brisbane. Yeah, Brizzy. Well, here's a funny story, Barb. So I was with my buddy Daryl, who is probably a little more nervous about things than I am. And I think it was like 10 o'clock. And we're riding some of the city bikes around Brisbane. And we get down to a dock area. And I forget if it was a trucking area or a shipping area or I just forget. But I remember there were tents. And there were some people hanging around that I said hello to because I talked to pretty much everybody. And he didn't feel comfortable. And he got me nervous because he said, what if one of them pulls out a knife or something? I said, dude, we're in Australia. There's no guns. There's no violence. There's no nothing. And I think I wound up bringing them back some pastries because we got back there at like 2 a.m. or something. But they weren't working. They were definitely altered state. I don't know, drunk. I don't know, high. I don't know what. But I enjoyed immensely my time in Australia. I love it. And I had a friend, Josh. Josh moved there with his family. He was I think he was a Navy brat as a kid, and he just picked up from Atlanta and moved his family down there and got the work visa. And he fully. I followed his movement on Instagram or Facebook, I forget. But he loved it as well. So I'm a fan. Okay, what am I going to put you on to? TQQQ is dropping. The market seems to have taken a downturn, except for Apple. Take a look at Apple. Apple's losing its mojo, but it's up 1% today. So I think that's driving my portfolio. Let me go to Anchor. And I'm going to upload this little puppy. And then I'm going to get off here. How come this exhausts me? It really does. New episode. There we go. Insert ad. I'm just going to go with the tried and true Peacoat. Come on, there we go. Your sis lives in Brizzy. Have you been over there, Barb? Yeah, but Jesse, you missed it. I did 8 miles of hiking this morning. How many? Let me see how much. I don't think we did that much in We did 902 feet in elevation gain. So definitely not a lot, but enough. Average heart rate 115 beats per minute because I was talking so much. Up. While I was doing this, I've got to go back here and show you this. We have a live alert for a buy on the triple bear DRV 53.72. The market may be taking a downturn. Maybe this is kind of understanding, hey, 53.77 was the, and see the blue line here, 53.77, and then the actual algorithm 53.72. You can't time it. Even if I were to turn on the trading bot down here, I guess you can't see it. Here, I'll show you. Let me bring this in. So here, right here, there's launch as a trading bot. You guys may not be able to see that. But if I launch as a trading bot on TrendSpider, and I do that, it will try and get me that close a price to the algorithm in my brokerage account. But 53.77 was the alert text that was sent out to me. And 53.72 seems to be the price you can get for it, or the price that the algorithm says you should get. Okay, I don't care about it. By the way, thank you to folks who commented. You can now comment on, if you listen to the podcast on Spotify, you can comment on it. And if you didn't see in the Facebook group, I gave myself a little bit of positivity yesterday with a comment. So, let's see. What am I going to title this one? You know what? Let's just get... And I probably should do another podcast that says, hey, it's the last day for the TrendSpider sale. Now, I don't know why, mother effer, Anchor, I think my router is blocking last day. Okay, and then we're going to scroll down to the bottom. We'll get the support. Nobody supports me anymore. Whammy. But we're just going to take this to copy this. I'll put in my notes. A rare afternoon session of the podcast live while the market is going on. Recorded at 1 p.m. Okay. Love Sack. That was a great one if Joe's listening. BBWI. Boyle, PANW. I'm looking over. Why am I doing this? I already have freaking carpal tunnel. Macy's. BBWI. Does anybody read the notes that I put in? Or am I just wasting my time? I like NVDS, by the way, if you're looking to trade something. Episode 201. Celebrate. PANW earnings afternoon today. Should you buy? Market update 11/17/22. Published now. Okay, we're going to go to Twitter. Let me get episodes. It is that time of afternoon for a nap. Okay. We're going to go over here. Okay. DLO. It is an interesting one, DLO. Oh, and I have some notifications on Twitter. Whoop, whoop. Anybody buying into Apple? And you'd think I was doing this longer than 201 episodes. But, nope. I've been trading a lot longer than 201 episodes, but I have not recorded my trades. And honest to God, I used to trade with Steve. So I had somebody to talk to other than just talking to myself. Sedge. And then we're going to take that out. And then I'm going to look at the... Oh, what the hell? Technicals. Let's look at that. Let's see if I can get this to come back up. There we go. Okay, we're going to go TQQQ, ARDX, SQQQ, AMD. Baba's in there. CN, Neo. We're going to take out 2. There we go. Oh, what? There we go. And we will tweet. I got to Neo. Who's alerting me? Who are you? I don't think... Okay, let me show you guys. So this person, Baba Mankey. I want to ask you something. How can I reach you? Do we think this is for real? Following 1. Who are they following? Are they following me? No, they're following Rahul. The road is long. Rahul follows me. But Baba Mankey. Should I write back? You can write me here. Excitedly awaiting your response. doing the needful. Anybody that works with Indian call centers, it's great. I always used to love, they'd finish their emails with, please do the needful. I love India. One of my favorite places. But, okay, I'm going to go back to Active Trader Pro. Because, Apple, look at how bad Apple has lost. Wow. SQQ has to be getting the, remember how I said SQQ on the 4 hour? I think I may have timed it perfectly. This is crazy though. How quickly, these are 1 minute charts. I mean, this is 1 minute candles. So how quickly it's moved from 46.20 to 45.20 to 46.20. Everybody hit the thumbs up already? I am going to share again. And I want to share with the most, we're going to do DNA. We're going to do AAPL. We're going to do, I did Tesla. DLO I did. BBD. SPY. LabU. EEM. NU. XPEV. ITUB. CTMX. SOXS. QQQ. FXI. CCL. Ford. Ford's getting killed. EWZ. SoFi. That's from my guy Charlie at MLS. SoFi. I'm going to do GME and AMC because degenerates trade those. I'll just tweet that out. And then, what's the home? Why is the home? Yeah, home doesn't get me anything. Analytics. Sorry, I'm on the new ad terms. Let's see. You grant Spotify the right to place and sell advertising within and alongside your user content. Oh. Spotify will calculate your earnings using a fixed amount per 1,000 impressions filled by Spotify for consumption on Spotify for a fixed amount without limiting anything in the anchor terms of service. Oh. Huh. Looks like you guys may be getting some ads. I may have to split my podcast up because it looks like I don't need to. How to use the waveform to make it easier for creators to include ads in their episodes. The waveform ad insertion tool allows you to decide exactly where you want to place ads. Using the waveform ad insertion tool on the web. This is interesting. I may have to insert more ads into the podcast. Ads don't hurt anybody, though. Honestly, I was talking to my dad last night. I'm like, I don't mind paying less for a service. Jim Cramer, I guess, on CNBC this morning said, "We were always skeptical of Sam Bankman-Fried." By the way, have you guys here? I gotta show you this. This is awesome. So one of the best coverages of the FTX meltdown is from this group called Autism Capital. And look at the description. I mean, it's just the most based citizen journalism in crypto. We are currently following the FTX saga. Please be patient. We have autism. I love that. I love that. And by the way, they got 166,000 followers versus, look at me, 404 people following me. It's funny because I was told by an agency, you just have to follow more people. I'm like, but I like my feed kind of a little more curated than just following people. Well, you got to build up your audience. No, I don't need to build up my audience. Yeah, Tesla's loot. By the way, let's go back to Active Trader Pro because let's look at Tesla. I think Tesla has lost all of its mojo. I think it's at 180. There's somebody selling. Somebody's selling big. Here, take a look at that MACD. Now, mind you, it's a 1-minute chart. But even if we go to a 5-minute chart, look, it's just, it doesn't have support. It's outside the bottom Bollinger Bands. This is why I say, if you can, you'll probably get a 160 handle on this one at some point in time. We're going back to the 20 on the TQQQ. So, oh, this is funny. So, I'll bring in a little politics here. So DeSantis has basically put laws in place, and this is where I don't agree with him, that curb professors from endorsing particular viewpoints in public university classrooms, and a judge blocked it, and he called the measure positively dystopian in the latest blow to the Republican enacted measure. Said in a 139-page ruling that Florida's Individual Freedom Act, also known as the Stop Woke Act, because let's be honest, you know who was woke? Martin Luther King was woke. Abraham Lincoln was woke. John F. Kennedy was woke. Lyndon B. Johnson was woke. I mean, you know, some of the greatest people. Thurgood Marshall on the Supreme Court, he was woke. I hate that term woke because If you're not woke, what are you? You're asleep. So, I don't disagree that some things have gone a little overboard. But when you're stopping free speech on the nation's universities, which is supposed to be the place where people are, free to think and free to open their minds, that's where I have a problem. Critics said it amounted to a ban on educators from endorsing certain race and gender concepts. A professor, for instance, under the law would no longer be able to express approval of affirmative action as an idea worthy of merit during class instruction. The First Amendment does not permit the state of Florida to muzzle its university professors, impose its own orthodoxy or viewpoints, and cast it all in the dark, Walker wrote. So, it's interesting. I like reading about this stuff. So, and I like debating it too. But let's see. Did he write back? Can you give me your email address, please? Oh, let's see. Let's write back. I'm sorry. I strictly use Twitter to do the needful. Anybody see what I just typed? Are you guys watching this comedy? It's brilliant. Trending in the United States, LinkedIn down. Is LinkedIn down? And by the way, Tesla has not regained confirmation yet. Meanwhile, take a look at SQQQ. On a 5-minute chart, I think we just regained it. Yep, you're above that 9-day, which is the green line here. So, okay, let me text. One new message. Oh, I got to do this for Joe. MACD cross up. Okay. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Mm. 12 people watching me. SQQQ's got some Penny, what you doing? Oh, I got a request. I guess I don't have a request. Couldn't load requests. Try again. Oh, why am I not hooked up to? God, I hate when this happens. It seems to disconnect from Wi-Fi. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Accept. Cooper. Welcome, Cooper. Boom, boom, boom. Let me add. Copy. I gotta add to tomorrow's. We just had somebody ask for me to look at stuff. Title Friday. And Cooper from Instagram. Bum, bum. For screen. Okay. I am going to be done with the YouTube. Instagram roulette. Oh, maybe he's for real. Baba Mankey might be right. Okay, I'm gonna get off here. I was messing with Baba Mankey. Now I feel bad. I'll show you guys. I feel bad for Baba Mankey because I was fucking with him or her. I want to ask you something. How can I reach you? Can you give me your email address? And then I guess this person, Bobo Yan, has roulette as their Instagram. So, and they have a 12-year-old son whose name is Roulette, which means little wheel in French. If you're not actively using the Instagram username, can I get it from you for a fee? I told them I only run non-kid friendly Instagram sites. So I am done with the YouTube. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit me up on the socials. Remember, if you're interested in TrendSpider, it does end today. Kind of like Justin said, you can go month to month. You can go with a yearly one. They do have sales throughout the year, just none this good. Usually, I think they're Their typical sale is like 20% off. Sometimes you can get 50% off. The 65 is just around this time. So hit me up on any of the socials. Remember, hit the thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I will talk.